Wait, is the Minecraft dev team based in the US or abroad? I always thought the delay issues were because of all of their holidays. Are they taking US holidays off now too? Well, simply put, they're in both. There is a team that is based in Stockholm, Sweden, and they are taking most of July off, which is why you won't be seeing any snapshots for this month, and the other team is based in Redmond, Washington, which is a part of the USA, and so they took the 4th of July holiday weekend off, and that's why we didn't get a preview or a snapshot this week. According to Mojang's LinkedIn though, they also have additional locations in London, Shanghai, and Tokyo, as well as a partially remote workforce, and presumably it is them who is responsible for all of the weird things Mojang has been posting this week, including this. I know I'm not the only one curious about why there's a warden in the end, but it's not the only thing Minecraft have teased this week, and also I got so many comments about how they could fix copper that I figured for today's Q&A Saturday we would do both of those things, and so let's start with the hints. The most direct one actually comes inside of Minecraft. Some players, myself included, will get this message telling you there is a free Superman skin pack and that you can choose from your favourite of 5 iconic characters and bring some stellar style to your wardrobe, but if you keep reading it says you can suit up and stay tuned for the full Superman DLC coming soon. That's right, Minecraft are partnering with Superman, which is really interesting because previously they've done a lot of partnering with Marvel, but those have always expired, and so is the Superman DLC going to be just one thing, or is it a more permanent partnership with DC? Well, what I think makes that interesting is that Minecraft recently referenced another movie on their Twitter because they said, "I am Speed," and at first this just seems like it's a chicken jockey meme, but actually, if we look closer, the chicken jockeys are all running on a racing track of some form. They've got the nice Mojang Studios branding going on there, but also you can see that these numbers above their heads represent major F1 drivers. That is George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Oscar Piastri, if I'm not mistaken, and so clearly I think they are making at least a direct reference, meaning that whoever is the admin for the Minecraft Twitter page really actually likes F1, or this is meant to be a hint towards actual F1 DLC, because it's not just a generic race, it is specifically referencing the thing that just had a big movie about it. This is something Minecraft does quite a bit, and it's why I always encourage skepticism, because sometimes they post hints that are actually just towards DLC. Sometimes they post things that are solely there because they want it to be popular. For example, they just shared on their YouTube, what seed should we visit, and then a bunch of seeds that they recommend. It's kind of a weird thing to see, but it's just, you know, the modern truth about Minecraft Social is they're posting what they think will get views because I guess they want to grow their social channels, which is why when you see "you need that" and then you see a warden in the end, it could be that they have got some big hint lined up for this next preview coming on Tuesday, and therefore is an end update really confirmed? Maybe, but also probably not. I've gotten lots of hate over things like this in the past, of saying like, "But Toycat, are you saying you don't want an end update?" And it's like, no, my job here is not to report what I want to see in the game as if it is true. My job here is to share what is true and then my opinions based on that. So for example, one of the hints about the copper update that was never quite resolved was this one of someone going into the desert or a beach and then finding a block of question mark. We never quite understood that in the copper update, and the best theory I've seen so far is this one from Jev Lom NCN, who says copper golems can maybe stop above a buried treasure. I think that's the meaning, and so maybe that's what's coming soon, but again, that's not what has been explained yet. There is still one unresolved hint, and I'm not going to pretend I know the exact answer, but if we're speaking about pretending we know about game design anyway, one of the fun things about Minecraft's copper update so far is that they've added a copper golem, and he's great. Maybe could do with an extension of these powers, but the copper golem is great. They've added copper armor, which is really useful for the early game, but I think that copper tools are something a lot of people say, yeah, maybe you would use, but probably not that much, and I've seen a lot of fun comments about how they could improve it, and I wanted to share those now in rapid fire. So the first one is simple: make copper a side grade of the current systems. Make it so copper armor and tools are worse than wood, but act as a lightning rod, and when you get hit by lightning, you get really powerful buffs so long as you have charge on your armor. It's a side grade and not an upgrade. And along the same lines, we've seen this idea from Sixelite saying that they should keep iron and copper, but give copper a special quantity so you can find some copper that is pre-enchanted, and then when you use it in a recipe, you'll get a random enchantment, and it could be decently rare with low-level enchantments being more likely, so you might get Unbreaking one, or Thorns one, or Mending one, but that would allow copper armor to be just a little bit more special without it necessarily having to be better than iron tools. On the other hand, we have people saying the exact opposite thing, which I think is hugely interesting here. What if instead you just make copper tools the extra layer of progression between stone and iron tools? Minecraft progression has been too short between wood to diamond, and it is kind of true when you think about it objectively, that a wood sword does more than half the damage of a diamond sword, which doesn't make actual objective sense given how hard diamond is meant to be. And so indeed, that's why a lot of people like Bennis Man are very upset at the idea of it being between stone and iron, and that's something that lost them, and they think that the correct solution would be to buff iron and make copper the same as current iron, but they doubt Mojang can do such a drastic change. Ooh, scary. I think that's a little bit overdramatic, but I do think that there is a truth here that if you think about copper tools, they are something that could easily be added in an add-on. In fact, I'm sure there are dozens of them that have done that. However, I think that the one thing Mojang can do that an add-on cannot, maybe a Java mod can, but an add-on can't change the existing base game and rebalance it around the new toolset. So if Mojang is going to add the new tools and they want them to not just be like an add-on, the logical way to do that would be changing everything else around it. The only other way that you can really make it fit in between is to use Zeusman's for 9force17 suggestion. I mean, how are you meant to say that otherwise? I really don't know. But their idea is having copper weapons deal 4.5 damage, which is to say actually put it midway between stone and iron. Right now it's like stone but a bit better, and you could arguably make it like iron but a bit worse, but if you go for the weapons, they are literally the same as stone but with more durability. And so what if copper weapons dealt 4.5 damage? On the surface this seems like a bad idea, but 4.5 actually makes a big difference, because for example with a zombie, if you deal 3 critical hits, that would kill a zombie with a copper weapon but not a stone one, and there's lots of other examples of mobs that would be killed in 1 fewer hit, and so copper weapons could be a real sweet spot if they just had a bit more stone damage. And so if they need a good change that is really simple to implement, it's literally changing a number, that could be a good one. But a comment that I thought raised a really good point was this one. No, wait. If my comment gets 10k likes, you need to buy me a 5060 RTX 4K gaming laptop. Thankfully, they didn't get 10,000 likes, and so I'm not out a laptop. If you want to leave a request for things down below of a number of likes, you can do that, by the way. It's entirely unilateral, and I'm obviously not going to buy it, but I like the spirit that Babajuro has, and I just wish they had more friends to upvote their comment. But you know what else I think is interesting? CMDX6X use comment. I just thought about this. Why doesn't iron oxidize in Minecraft? It is literally more prevalent to our life than copper oxidizing, and you raise a really good point. Most rust in the real world is iron oxidizing, not copper, right? And then I realized, oh yeah, even though it's true that iron oxidizes in the real world, it's kind of copper's identity that it oxidizes in Minecraft with nothing else, because, you know, the Statue of Liberty turned blue after being orange. It's a really cool function that looks better on copper and would just be annoying in iron, but since it is a part of the identity, I think that's why they really should seriously consider either using the lightning idea from Top Hat Studios, or using the random enchantment idea, or indeed just in some way having the armor degrade and maybe getting better or worse over time. I've heard arguments both ways, that as tools degrade they should get better, or that as tools degrade they should get worse, but I think there should be some colorizing of it, because even as you can prove with the Iron Golem, literally there is no difference between him at full rust and him at no rust. He was meant to, you know, stop working when he got fully rusted based on the initial mob vote, but even just by changing his color, that still adds something to his value, and I think copper tools could do with having that identity, even if it doesn't add anything extra, but I think that it should do something extra. I just am not entirely sure as to what. I'd love to see Mojang's take on this, and perhaps next Tuesday we'll be seeing precisely that. Right now it looks like we are expecting a probable preview next week, but it is very much up in the air, because like we mentioned at the very beginning, a lot of the Mojang studio staff take holidays, and so whether the right people are in the office is something that seems likely, but just isn't known until it happens, or rather it doesn't. Speaking of happening or not, something I thought was really fun was I made a video about the new Earthender crafting recipe, and I mentioned, like, you know, how this could be good, could be bad, and lots of people felt very strongly one way or the other, and one of the most fun opinions I had was like, okay, this is a great idea, but we need to give more incentive to go to the end, besides ultimately getting the Elytra. Personally, I think going to the end is so crazy rewarding as it is. Every time I hit a comment like this, I'm like, I need to show people how good it is if you go to the end. Even if it takes you like hours to get there, it is such a big game changer to every part of your game, and that's why I think that actually I love this idea as a change to the recipe I mentioned, because although you could add you could add a blaze fireball, as well as a ocean monument thing, as well as the deep dark, as well as the wind charge, you could have it be all 4 of those, but ultimately you're going to run into the problem of the fact that you have to change existing Minecraft. Many people told me, Toycat, you can't say that adding blue concrete to blue wool is the same thing, because we still have blue wool if you want to use it, and I agree with that. And so this idea from consistently stupid stupid. I know they've got a questionable username for a good idea, but trust me, I think it's great, is what if you have all 4 as potential crafting recipes? That way, instead of having to go to the Nether Fortress, you can choose to fight an ocean monument, or a trial chamber, or an ancient city, or go to the fortress, and that way you would have a kind of choice about how you want to go to the end. I do think this does run into the very, very easy problem of like, well, how can it be the end if there's so many ways to get there? But I think you could either rename the dimension to the Ender. That's an idea I saw from Michael on Twitter recently I quite liked. But I also just like the idea of saying, yeah, the end can be reached in many ways because Minecraft is a sandbox and you can go there any way you like. If you don't like a structure, you shouldn't be forced to fight it. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, I guess that's a question I want to leave with you. But something I don't want to leave with you is this one from SlowMarrow87, who says they're looking around for a Minecraft YouTuber that plays on Bedrock. Google said you are the best Minecraft YouTuber that plays Bedrock. Subscribed. I am a new subscriber. I play on Bedrock too. And what you might find wild is that YouTube will sometimes give these AI responses, which just make me feel weird. Like the whole point of getting a response from a YouTuber is that they crafted it themselves, right? You know, knowing that I hit the AI button would just make me feel weird a bit. Am I the only one who feels that way? But anyway, one of the things I think was interesting is I decided to Google best YouTuber who plays Minecraft Bedrock, and even though I put a typo in, what do you know? Google AI actually says that a popular choice for Minecraft Bedrock Edition includes IBX Toycat for informative and humorous content. And so guess what? This is the most informative and humorous Minecraft Bedrock channel, but you should also check out Silent Whisperer for redstone builds and DallasMed64 for 5 for hardcore survival experiences. Does he do hardcore experiences? I swear he's a creative builder. DallasMed65. Oh no, I have him mixed up with someone else. This is in fact a survival Minecraft player. So if you need another Minecraft Bedrock channel, there's a couple of recommendations straight from the AI's mouth. Do I like AI now that it's recommending me? Is that the situation here? But more seriously, it was quite the compliment. But you know what isn't a compliment? What Terry Yakumi says about Minecraft. They say it's the world's most popular live service game. Why can't they just finish it and get it over with already? I had to include this partially because it's like the perfect rage bait, but also partially because it is true, right? Minecraft is the original live service game. The first game that said, yeah, we're going to slowly release the game piece by piece over time, and then they released it with 1.0 in 2011, which is one of the most irritating facts to this day. You will say like, oh, so when did Minecraft come out? At the Minecraft experience, I said 2009, and the guy's like, you're so close. It actually came out in 2011, and I just, had to seethe on the inside. Like, no, it's you who's wrong, Mr. Minecraft employee. But yeah, I think the fact that Minecraft came out in 2011, then just decided to keep making updates that Jonathan King will remind you are free is actually kind of cool. And if you play the Bedrock version of the game, it very much is a live service in that they're giving you these free updates so that you will purchase, I don't know, a Realm subscription or an add-on or something. But when it comes to the Java version of the game, it's just free updates, and in exchange you have to, deal with the fact that you have to update the game every now and then. You never have to download a Minecraft update, and especially of the Java version of the game, you can continue playing any version you like, which is why so many people choose to do precisely that. Speaking of choosing, I am choosing to have a birthday tomorrow, which means I'll be turning 30, and as Diego Montero Art says, 30 is not old, it's an upgrade, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, which is a shame because that's exactly what Cap and Amy's anime here has done. They say, happy early birthday, Toycat, I hope you enjoy being old. Am I old or am I not old? We need a proper consensus on this one, but yeah, it's absolutely crazy that I've been making, videos on this channel since I was literally 14 years old. You might have seen that first RuneScape video recently, and here I am literally more than half a life later now. It is absolutely wild that we are still doing this, and as Dasher puts it, old man Minecraft for the win. Now, as of tomorrow, if you're watching this at least 4 hours after it goes out, you'll be watching the YouTube channel of an old man, and so old man Minecraft better begin. Do you want to see some old man Minecraft tips? Do you want to see some old man life advice? That's all you'll be seeing on this channel from now on, because more seriously, it is absolutely crazy. Every single year that I do YouTube, I am fairly expectant of the fact that it very much could be my last. Every year, thousands of YouTubers do find out that it's their last year and they transition back into the real world in some way. I am very, very lucky that, through a combination of here, the second channel and the add-on team, that we have managed to continue doing what we're up to. And I just want to say to everyone that has made that possible by, watching videos, all the way through, or giving it a like, or even just a single purchase here or there. Genuinely, you have made such a huge difference to what I get to do every day. Thank you for allowing me to spend as much time thinking about and, you know, talking about and looking into Minecraft stuff as I get to do. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll actually be streaming tonight just before my actual, you know, streaming just before midnight. It'll be a lot of fun. Come check it out if you want to see my last birthday party in my 20s. Oh, that's a scare. My last day in my 20s is right now. I better take advantage. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.